Alright, more Walking Dead. This time doing Consumed, which is a Daryl and Carol focused episode. I'm gonna go on record right now and just say that this is probably, in my opinion at least, the best written episode so far this season. And I'll get into all the details of that throughout this review. So, basically, this episode follows Daryl and Carol, who are chasing after one of the cars from the hospital that Beth's chased at, because that was the car that abducted Beth last season. So they go in, and so they follow the car, and turns out they're in Atlanta, and then while following the car stops. They see that it's a police officer, and then when the car drives off, they realize that their car does not have gas in it anymore. So they stay at I guess like a secondary home, which is a place for people who are abused, and that's where apparently when Carol and her daughter Sophia were being abused by her husband Ed, that's where they went, and so that's why Carol knew the place. And so a couple cool things happen here. Carol talks about how she doesn't think they can save people anymore, how, that's not what they can do. She's like, that's how I've lived, I've done everything that I felt is necessary. In which that's explained very well, I think, throughout the entirety of the episode by kind of showing the many different things that Carol has done simply within the past 2 seasons. It shows, what's the first one? First thing it shows is her right after Rick leaves her, and so you see that she's emotionally distressed. And then when she sees the smoke from the fight at the prison at the mid-season 4 mid-season finale, we see that she goes there, and then they show her digging the graves for Micah and the other one, the two little girls. And then they also show her burning Karen's body, and then her, after she had rescued everybody in the season 5 opener. So they show, everything that she's had to do. And so there's also another really cool moment in that same sequence where they hear her and Daryl knocking, and it turns out it's a zombie woman, a walker, and a little child walker. And Carol's almost like, she's like, I have to do this, but Daryl's like, you don't have to do this anymore, and he takes it upon himself to kill them and then burn the bodies himself. So they go in, they decide they're going to try to climb up a building, get a better look, and when they make it up there, they find a van that has the cross on the back. And so as they're leaving the building, they're accosted by none other than Noah, who is the guy that Beth helped break out of the hospital. And he takes the guns and Daryl's crossbow. So Daryl and Carol continue on, and they make it to the van, and they determine, this van belongs to a hospital. So they say to go to the hospital, but the van's hanging precariously on the bridge, off the bridge. And so a horde of walkers is coming, so they decide that they're not going to be able to fight it off. So they climb in the front seat, buckle in, and just kind of fall off. Continuing on in the episode, they get to a place, I guess they're watching the hospital. They're right across the street from it, and they're just watching it so that they can figure out what they're going to do. And then they hear more thudding and groanings of a walker. When they get over there, they see it's one of Daryl's crossbow bolts. It's like, oh. So Noah had either followed them or he'd ended up in the same area. So Daryl and Carol go after him, and Daryl knocks into him while he's trying to move a bookshelf, and the bookshelf falls on him. And then and it's really cool in this moment. This next moment's really cool because Carol's advocating for saving Noah, while Daryl's advocating for just leaving him there, which is kind of a reverse of how their roles have been the entire episode. And so eventually Daryl saves him, and then they save Noah, but it comes out that the people, I don't know what the name of the place is or what they're called, the people from the hospital heard the shots and they're coming, because they're probably looking for Noah. So they go in, they hit Carol with their car, and they take her in, and that's how we led up to Carol being in the hospital with Beth. And so Noah says, we're going to need a lot more, like, they have guns, they have people, and Daryl says, well, so do we. So they basically escape out of Atlanta, and that's how we end up where we were. And then also I saw the sneak peek for the next episode, which is, again, so it shows that they're bringing the stories together. It's following, it's not, this next episode isn't this is not a season 4 episode, if that makes sense. You know, season 4 was, very much, you know, every episode had every episode had a different person's story, and this one is kind of trying to tie them all together, especially since there's only 2 episodes in this last half of the season. This episode was really well written because it was all about Carol and Daryl and, you know, their relationship, which is kind of up in question. You know, Carol and how she's handling everything that she claims that she's had to do, and, you know, her opinion of everything that's happening, and a lot of things get discussed, and it's just really well written how they bring in all that she's done into this, and how she they both very much evolve as characters, which is something that I don't think has happened. And like I said, this is probably my favorite episode so far this season. My main reasoning is, I mean, I don't know, I feel like there was a lot to talk about this episode. A lot happened that was substantial, especially for characters, whereas, like last week, I feel like not that much honestly happened that was important. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So, yeah, talk to you guys later.